Greetings. It's been a while since we've done this. I've had a lot of things happen in life. I have also gotten a dog, which has taken up a lot of my life, potty training and the like, and it's just been hectic, so I do apologize for the lack of videos, whether it be a continuation on the tutorial series or just a cast of a replay. There are so many that I want to do. I definitely want to continue the tutorial, which is what we're going to do today. And there's been so many good replays that I want to do as well. I just haven't had the time. But last time we kind of talked about the first few minutes of the game. You know, we went over, I played against the AI, and we just kind of discussed like what I was doing, what was going through my head, things like that. I kind of want to just continue that way, but I do want to delve deeper into things like resource management, build orders, and the like. The last time, we started with an energy storage, right? Let's actually do this. Hold that thought. Okay, so we're back. So this is what we're gonna do. We've got 3 AI here. I don't know where that guy went, but there's 3 AI here somewhere. So we're going to do 4 different build orders. First, let's turn the AI off so they don't interrupt. AI1 plus AI2 plus AI3. Hopefully I did that correctly. So in the last video, I do believe, we talked about starting with an energy storage. And I would still recommend this. It can help you manage your energy better, and it keeps you from wasting early on. But since I've actually moved away from it, I think I like starting with actual energy infrastructure first, something that gives me some income. And energy storage is like 240 metal, which, I mean, is nothing to scoff at early on. You've only got 1,000 metal to start with, and you've got to spend some of it on metal extractors, some of it on energy infrastructure, and you've got to save a minimum of like 500 metal and a maximum of like 750-ish for a lab. So the energy storage, we do this, and we'll just do vehicle plants for all of them. So let's say we do this. That's going to be, bottom left is going to be energy storage, metal plant. Plus control 1. That's up here. So on a map like this with great winds, 2 winds, I have found to be honestly a lot better than an energy storage. So what that's going to allow me to do is spend 100 less metal. So 2 winds is like about 140 metal. Well, for core, it is exactly 140. For ARM, it's like 142 or something like that. So you're looking at about 140 metal for 2 winds, and about 250 for 1 energy storage. And those 2 winds give you income, so you'll be able to run your lab a little bit quicker. And build time, I know these numbers don't mean much. They don't mean much to me. I don't know the equation for it, but build time for an energy storage, almost 7,000. Build time for a wind was like 2,100, it said. So a total of like 4,200. So they actually build a little quicker than the energy storage as well. So you can get moving faster. Plus control 2, right? Where am I at? Bottom right. So for bottom right, we did winds, we did storage. We're going to do like pretend like the winds suck on this map, and we're going to do solars. It's always more of a rough start when you're doing solars. I would start like one solar, hit your metal extractors, and then I would maybe do one more solar, and then do a lab. So we'll do something like that. And then plus control 3. We'll speed this up a little bit too, since we're what 6 minutes in or so. I gotta cut a little bit out for when I left, but about 5 minutes in. And for this, we'll get crazy with this one. We'll start with the plant. So this will be a learning experience for us all. We'll do the lab first to try and get going quick. Get one win to just help run things, and then grab all that. All right, now let's go. Let's see how this goes. Speed this up a little bit. You can see like we're about 50% on the storage. He just finished the wind. Still working on that storage. That's what I'm talking about with like the energy storages versus the winds. Like you can see it's a very minor like head start. Okay, hang on. I'm going to need to pause to do this properly because some of these will finish at different times and whatnot. And the solar one is going to be the slowest, but sometimes you have you can't do winds, but you will be able to see between these two like the differences of like a energy storage start versus a solar start. Okay, let me grab this. Let me pause. I'm not good enough to play that's 4 characters at once. I apologize. So we've got red with a 2 win start. The 2 win to the 3 mexes here. Just starting their vehicle plant. Looks like it started a couple seconds ago. The energy storage start here is still working on their metal extractor. And some of it might have been like the path to the metal extractors, but I don't think that matters as much because I either went like this or I went like this. So I don't think that is too big of a deal. And we've got the solar start getting a second solar up. So the 2 bottom teams are both working on the last building before their lab. Yellow's definitely going to finish before white. You see blue, we are running pretty low on metal. The commander is coming up to grab some, and our energy kind of sucks. So what I would maybe do is come out, I'd get a wind, I'd start grabbing the metal here, get those 2 big patches, come up and grab these probably. And that does kind of let me expand a little quicker. Our commander, we're gonna use him to get some energy up, I think. But you can see like we're really tight on metal. Like building wins with my commander, maybe not a great idea. Okay, red's done. So the 2 win finished the plant. We've got yellow, and I don't know exactly when these finishes. It's kind of hard to play for at once. Leave me alone. But red finishes just a little bit before yellow. It might have been a little bit sooner, but it is still just a bit. Control 2. No, control 1, I think it is. Yes, okay. So we're going to build that. And on a map like this, that's 36. When winds are at their worst, I've got 36 energy coming in from them. which is nice. What we're going to do with him, we're going to build a couple more wins, and we're going to push stuff out of that lab. Plus control. Pause it. Get that going, and here we're going to do a similar thing. We have the energy storage, so we don't want that storage to. We don't want to rely on that because we have no income coming in, and we're going to be spending more. So we'll do the same thing we did up there. Get a couple wins, guard the lab, and then he's going to be done here in a second. Plus control 2, I think it was. Yes. Get that out, and honestly, I'm just gonna push it. Okay. It is extremely hard to play all these. Bear with me for a second. So, we've got 8 metal coming in. Labs now run. FN joined a 4v4, by the way. Labs now run at 2/3. I don't remember if I said that or not. So it's actually a little bit easier to balance your economy since your labs, they used to use like 150 energy or so. I don't quote me on that, but it was about 10 metal, the tier 1 labs. So we're doing okay. I think they run at like 7.7 or something right now, around 7 metal. So if we can get another one of those out, forget the commander. Have the commander come do this. 3 wins, 4 or 5. We have 5 wins. That's more than enough. Honestly, like the point I was making here, it's kind of made already. Like you can see the difference. Like none of these are gonna give you like, oh, like I'm gonna win because I did this. Doesn't really work like that. I wish it was that easy. You know, we come up here with the first one. You always want to grab, like, you always want to go for the metal that's going to give you the biggest income boost. Whether, you know, like right here, we got these 2, and then I can shoot down here. You got to take into account like things that are closer. I used to come all the way up here, grab these, but when you take into account the travel time and the easiness of that being able to get raided, I think it's better to like grab the other spawn right here. Plus control 3. I know I'm all over the place, guys. I do apologize. Plus control 2. But you see, you know, like you still want to do this. You still want to grab all your stuff first, and then you want to get another constructor out. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. But I mean, because I'm trying to balance 4 different ones, it's once the labs come into play, it's I just kind of ignore all that, honestly. What I really wanted to show you was the differences between like the different builds here. Like you can see the biggest difference here was this one right here, and we're still doing all right. Like we're expanding. You know, he can come out here, he can do this. Like everybody else just got constructors out moving. We've got 2 out already, and it's not like we're hurting too bad. The start was rough. Like it was a rough start, and it's a little harder to balance. But you can see, like it's still doable. You might want to do like 1 extractor, 1 wind. You got to kind of find what works for you. You just want to do it without stalling. And obviously you'd want to be in a position where you could pump out units as well. I'm done juggling all 4. But you kind of see like there's 4 different examples of different build orders. like early starts, you know, like, and most of them followed the same general thing. Like, we built energy, we put some metal into energy, and when you really boil down like metal costs, a solar costs 145. So for down here, we did one solar, which was 145 metal. We grabbed our 3 extractors, or, you know, the good ones around us. We don't care about the 0.8. And then we started our lab. Over here, we started with the storage, which costs 240 metal, 100 more than the solar, but it does give you storage, so you're not bleeding energy. You're actually building it up, and you'll be able to do more with that energy if you have the metal. And that's if you have the metal to sustain it, which I feel like isn't as... like, early on, energy is important, but, like, without metal, you're dead in the water, right? So I try to save as much metal as I can for early constructors, maybe like early raiding units, things like that. But I digress. You know, we spent the 240 on that. We grabbed our 3 extractors and we got the lab out. And it did take a little longer than the winds, which we spent about the same as a solar. We did 2 winds. 140 metal, grabbed our 3 extractors, and did our vehicle plant. And this one, well, of the 3 here at least, this one finished first. The one with the storage was second. Barely behind. Like, it's not a huge difference. It's not going to make or break a game. Like I said, it's mostly what you're comfortable doing. If you need a little more leeway with your energy, start with an energy storage. If winds are good and you think, you know, you'd rather have income, I would start with, you could do 1 wind, especially on a map like this where winds are like amazing. Like, 1 wind is almost as good as a solar because of the cost. Technically, 1 wind at its worst, if it did no better than 18, like, you'd still be better off with wins just because of, you know, they're twice as cheap. But, I mean, with that logic, you might as well just build 2. That way you are pretty set. Once your lab gets going, you can just, you know, you can start off running. At least walking, you know, you're not crawling out of the lab. You're at least walking out, right? Down here, you know, we did build a second solar just because you don't have to. You could have built the lab first, honestly. If we had built the lab first, then we probably would have finished about the same time as the one who did the energy storage. And honestly, you could do that, and you could simultaneously build the constructor and the solar at the same time. But I just like to have a little more energy before I start things. And then while you're building the lab, obviously, you know, you've got the metal coming in. I think you build a little bit faster, so it's not like you're gaining metal. But, you know, you're not losing it. And, oops. Whoopsies. But, I mean, that's the video pretty much. I wanted to cover build orders, kind of, you know. I don't know if it was a good video. I'm kind of all over the place lately. I do apologize. But I hope it gave you guys kind of an idea. We did have this was like an outlier kind of build order. And I feel like this is one that can work on some maps, not all maps. I feel like if you have great winds and plentiful metal, then you might actually benefit from getting a lab out and getting that constructor moving quicker than everybody else, because then you're able to go expand, grab more metal than other people quicker. Like, you'll probably be grabbing metal before they even get their lab up, or maybe they're just getting their lab up. Regardless, and then if you have wins like this, map has 18 to 30, if you have wins like that, it won't be too hard to catch up energy-wise. You could easily do it. You'll be cutting it real close, but it's doable. But this is not something that works on every map. Something like we did here, well, like something like we did down here, actually, like the solars or the storages, that's something you could apply to most maps. And instead of like the 2 winds, if the winds are bad, 1 solar. You know, things will move slower on maps that don't have good wind or good tides. If you are on a map that has like crappy winds, no water, anything like that, keep an eye out for geos. Sometimes rushing a geo is really helpful. That's like 350 energy, I think it is. Plus arm geo. Plus control. Yeah, 350 energy. So, I mean, like, if you can rush that, if you think you're safe enough to, like, just focus on pushing a geo out, don't focus on units too much, that might help you, because once you get that out, you might be able to just pump units out. But anyways, thanks for watching. I want to get more of these out much, much sooner. If you have any suggestions on what to cover next, please let me know, because these 2-3 weeks, however long it's been, my brain has just been empty. I've just been all over the place in life. And I would love to hear like what you guys watching this want to know more about. And maybe I can help, maybe I can't. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty bad at this game. I'm not the worst. But mostly I feel my actions just don't match up with my thoughts when I play the game. Which sucks, because, you know, there's all these things I want to do and they never come to fruition. But I digress. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you'd like to see. If you don't let me know, I'm gonna make something that I think would be good, and maybe it will be. Who knows? We'll see. But hopefully you guys just leave some suggestions, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.